Where do you think you are special teams wise? Obviously, I don't think Mo could probably do much as a unit over the first, over the past month, but as far as getting that all assembled, and where do you think you guys are at?
I mean, we feel like we're in good shape, but we got to go out there and do it. And so until we get live game action, then, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. But we feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Our guys know what to do. We've got some veterans back. We've had a lot of practice time with them. We've given a lot of time to special teams. So we feel like we're in a great spot. But, again, you got to go out and do it.
I think most of the league, or not everybody, has this weekend off. I think it's mandated, right? What do you tell the guys, as they just go away for these few days? What's the message?
Yeah, we're going to hit that post-practice today, and just in terms of we know how important it is that we, try to take care of each other as best as possible, and trying to put the team first. That's one thing that we always talk about, and, try not to put yourself in a situation where, the number one concern is, like we hit yesterday, with COVID. I mean, whether you're vaccinated or not, people are getting it, and you see it across the league. So I do think there's going to be more challenges than a year ago in regards to attacking that subject and talking about that. And, guys are going to have to be disciplined and really commit to making sure that we're doing everything we can to help our football team be in the best position possible to win football games. And we know that availability is a big part of that.
Considering how much stricter the protocols were last year, I mean, and your team got through it as well as they did to get as far as you did, speaks well to at least them hearing the message.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great locker room and great leadership in there, and guys that are, committed to the team, and so that's part of it. But ultimately, nobody's going to be getting babysat over the next 3 days. Certainly there are some restrictions for those that chose not to get vaccinated, and for the ones that are vaccinated, then everything's open. But I would just, encourage everyone, not only our players, but anybody that works with football directly, that we're around one another, just to, try not to put yourself in too much of harm's way. I'm not saying that you can't go out to dinner or anything like that, but there's risk involved anytime you're out in large gatherings.
Along those lines, it seems like the rest of the world has maybe relaxed a bit on COVID. Have you met that same thing in the locker room, and do you have to kind of double down on your efforts there, or are you guys still pretty well locked in? The players, they're pretty well locked in on the realities of the world.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had too many issues, so it's not something that's been stressed every day. I think these guys understand what's at stake, and but we will talk about it post-practice today.
What you're saying with COVID, how does that look like in your life? I mean, are there things that you won't do just because? I mean, how do you implement that for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're up there talking about it, you better exercise the same caution. I'm not a guy that we don't have a lot of free time outside of this building anyways, but you won't see me too many places. So it's just the way it is. Certainly there's so many other factors and variables that everybody has in their lives. With our kids going back to school, for example. I mean, certainly there's added risk with that, and that's something that I've talked to my wife about, in terms of just I am a little bit concerned with that, because the last thing I want to do is, number one, get sick and potentially pass that on to anybody else. So, we're just going to kind of roll with what's in front of us right now and adjust accordingly as time goes by.
I don't know if we asked you yesterday, what are your thoughts on the punter? What do you know about him?
Well, my extensive punting analysis that I've done, no, I'll be honest with you, I didn't spend a whole lot of time. I know that Mo really liked him. I know obviously Goody and the personnel department really liked him. And, I trust those guys, and so I trust that they're going to make the best decisions for us. And everything I've heard is been really, really positive.
Is the late change between snapper and holder, is that a concern, or is there enough time, getting into pulling?
I think that's always a concern. There's a comfort factor there, and anytime you're changing out the holder, there is some, at least you better think about it and think about the potential ramifications of that. But this he's had experience in doing it in his past, and so it's not one of those deals where we're overly concerned about it. And we also have other guys, within our team that have done it before, and we'll continue to work those guys and just find the best person to go out there and do that job.
Matt, how have you seen MVS make strides from this last season to this season?
I just think in just his approach on a daily basis, when he goes out there to practice, I see great effort. Not that it was bad in the past, but it's consistent. I think his whole demeanor around the building has been very consistent, and he's been A+. So we're really excited about what he can do for this football team. Obviously, we've all seen it in the past. This guy has created a lot of explosive plays for us, and I think what we've seen in practice is, again, it's the consistency at which those plays are being executed. There hasn't, I don't even know, knock on wood, I don't think he's even dropped a ball all training camp, or maybe one ball. Thanks, Rob. Way to get me corrected.
Jason, we're doing his job.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
That's hurtful. No. But no, he's done an outstanding job, and he's consistently made those big explosive plays down the field. And even the details of which he runs routes, you see he's been able to get in and out of his cuts, I would say, better than in the past. Those routes are more crisp. He's always been on top of his assignments. He's never been one to have many mistakes out there or mental errors. But no, I'm just really excited for him this football season.
How difficult is it, what you just said there with MVS, the lack of drops, how difficult is it to get a receiver to trust his hands, especially when he's had maybe a history of having inconsistency with his hands, to get him to trust his hands? How difficult is that? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think that all comes with just putting the work in and the confidence that you go out there and play with. And it's not like he's lacks confidence by any stretch. I think it's just more or less what you said was the trust in the hands in those certain situations. And I think, a great indication of that was a year ago versus Tampa in the championship game, just making tough catches and using his hands. And he's really good when he does that.
Your practices this week kind of just been a continuation of camp, running your stuff? Are you doing any more game plan specific with a couple of extra days to kind of do that?
Yeah, I would say that there's a good mix between game plan and just trying to get some good-on-good action in terms of, that full speed and live work. And so it's been a healthy mix.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Eric, go ahead.
We just have one, Stacey Dales, NFL Network.
Thanks, Eric. Coach LaFleur, I'm curious to know what has excited you this offseason and heading into this year about specifically expanding on your offense and, adding to it. What's excited you about it this particular season?
Well, I think we've got a lot of guys coming back that understand what we're trying to get accomplished. Certainly as a coaching staff, we have a really good feel for these guys. I think we've added some pieces that we can use as well, and it's been coming together nicely. Been great conversation amongst our staff with our players, and we understand the expectations of this season, and our guys are doing a great job of approaching it with a positive mind, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. And just looking forward to getting the season underway.
I just remember you guys talking about how you refined it last offseason. What does the refinement look like now?
You have to see week one, Stacy. No, it's just, I think it's a constant, you tweak things here and there. Certainly the foundation and the philosophy stays the same. But yeah, there's stuff that, we had a great opportunity this offseason to study other teams around the league and seeing what else is out there and how we could potentially implement some of that stuff. And then we looked at our stuff and, hey, what are some plays that we could build upon or play off of plays that we've already put on tape. So, but I think that's always constant. You have to evolve in this business. You can't stay stagnant. If you do, everybody will catch up to you and pass you by. So that's always the challenge, though, is just trying to stay within, again, the philosophy, the foundation. You don't want to stray too far from there, but how can you add some wrinkles to help keep everybody off balance?
Yesterday, I think Aaron Rodgers threw a picture on Instagram with you. What's something that you learned to appreciate or know about Aaron Rodgers in year 3 that maybe you didn't know initially coming in?
Well, there's so much that I appreciate about him. Number one, just his love for his teammates and everybody in this building, and just the honest conversations. And I think it's been a lot of fun to grow with somebody throughout the course of the 2 years. And he's a guy that, certainly have a lot of confidence in and a lot of trust when he goes out there on the field. And it definitely, when you have a guy of that caliber as a coach, I think there's always a natural anxiety of wanting everything to go perfect. But, it definitely lessens that for all of us as coaches. And so it's just been a really fun process to go through over the course of 2 years and headed into year 3.